I'm Susannah Constantine and this is My Wardrobe Malfunction, the place where I talk to a very special guest about their relationship with clothes. As you may know, when lockdown started, we began recording our chats over Zoom and posted a load of episodes at mywardmal.com. We've done 20 so far with some amazing people, and we're loading them here too so you can hear them for yourselves. There will be a point when I stop apologising for the sound, but it's not quite yet. Sorry for any Zoom-like crackles. We're still doing our pyjama party section, the part where you tell me about your own experiences. Email us at help@mywardmal.com. And please subscribe, give us 5 stars, obviously, and follow us at mywardmal on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Right, on to our 5th new episode. This is not the first, but the second Dame in my wardrobe. Recorded in April 2020, it's with the iconic and fantastic Dame Zandra Rhodes, and meeting her brought back some very poignant childhood memories for me. So, let's grab the handles, open my wardrobe doors, and find out what's inside. Today, it is my absolute honour to be talking to the incredible and iconic fashion designer and textile designer and furniture designer, Zandra Rhodes. Zandra, hello, you joyful creature.
Wonderful to be here in these times of self-isolation on a TV screen.
I know, aren't we? Isn't it amazing? We're so lucky. I find having been of the generation to berate my kids from being on social media and on their computers the whole time, I'm now kind of, what would we do without it?
That has been one of the most amazing things, in that even if we have to be in this self-isolation, we've been able to talk to each other by whatever means, whether it's Zoom or Skype or whatever. And these are all things that I never really bothered to learn.
Yeah, same. Absolutely same. So we are old dogs learning new tricks.
Oh, I like that one. Yes, I think I've learned a few new tricks.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But Zandra, it's like more than any designer, any fashion designer, and I don't know if you know, but I worked in fashion. I worked for John Galliano, I worked for Alistair Blair, I worked for Patrick Cox, Richard James. I worked a bit with Hervé Léger and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, you, more than anyone, I think, instilled a love of fashion.
Oh, I like that. That sounds lovely. Fashion's a very exciting business, and it doesn't have to be that you've always got to have something new. The whole exciting thing is that you can reuse and do all sorts of things. Basically, I'm a textile designer that couldn't find a job.
Yeah.
And in those days when I was at college, that's in the 60s, people only designed furnishing fabrics, curtains and things. And I suddenly thought, but there's more to it. I want to be able to wear the things that I'm producing. And it took a long while hammering at, first of all, Carnaby Street with the designers Fole and Tuffin, who commissioned me to do work for them. And then gradually deciding that I was going to do my own prints for myself and have to do self-taught dressmaking, as it were, or whatever you're going to call it.
But so did you then go on, because obviously you went to, which was the art school you initially went to, and then you went to Royal College?
College of Art.
Yeah.
I was Royal College of Art doing textile design.
Okay, so you never learnt the actual physical making, pattern cutting, any of that?
No, my mother taught dressmaking at my original college, but I didn't even think I wanted to go into dresses. It was only when I realised that textile design on your body was another wonderful art form. And then that was really, I left Royal College, couldn't sell my textiles, and ended up doing my own collection in 1969, taking it to America. And the head of American Vogue, Deanna Vreeland, put them on Natalie Wood, photographed them, and suddenly I was the hot thing in all the American stores in like 69, 70.
Yeah, because you were sold in Henry Bendel, Nordstrom, everywhere. And you were probably the first British designer to cross the Atlantic, weren't you?
Well, Mary Quant was really a big
I
name.
suppose, yeah.
But she's probably Mary Quant's sort of like probably about 4 or 5 years ahead of me. Do you know what I mean?
But she was never, I mean, amazing stuff and a great innovator. But to me, she never symbolised high fashion. Whereas you,
no, she wasn't high fashion, and mine really was sort of first of all the glamorous, amazing caftans.
Yeah.
And sort of like the other classic, I've got one I can wave at you later, which was the one-sided dress that Jackie Kennedy wore and Lauren Bacall wore, you know. So a lot of the film stars wore a lot of those things in like the early to mid 60s. No, 70s.
Yeah, because my mum actually, and she passed away a long time, like kind of 14 years ago, but my father would love to, it was almost like she was a bit of a trophy wife, very beautiful, and he would dress her. And he probably bought her about 10, 12, maybe 20 of your dresses, which are in storage. And as soon as we come out of lockdown, having spoken to you, and I'm so excited to go and revisit them, because they're timeless. They're not fashion. They're like you say, they're works of art that can be worn at any time.
The prints tell a story, you know, because while I've been sitting here, well, I haven't been sitting here in lockdown, but in lockdown, it gives you a chance to start thinking, well, I need to get that organised, and I need to, you know, I mean, I've had some wonderful trips related to things, like in 71, I did a trip around Australia that was so amazing, and then I ended up drawing Ayers Rock, and that was a big print theme that I did, and it was all the wonderful rock in Australia, and I'm going to donate some of the dresses then over to Australia so that they have them in their museums.
Amazing. Because there can't be, I mean, because, you know, there are designers who structurally have created, like Alexander McQueen and of course John Galliano or Hussein Chalian, who have created structures which are like pieces of sculpture. But there are very few in my mind that, like you, where it's the fabric, like you say, tells a story, where it's like a tableau, it's a painting.
Yeah, the print is the original story that then makes it happen for different things.
Yeah, it's amazing. Sandra, do you have, you know, obviously you've travelled and you live between San Diego and the UK. Is there any item that goes with you everywhere that you would feel lost without? Like a comfort blanket?
I've got all these sort of little printed tops that I wear, and always jewellery. Never go without jewellery.
That necklace you're wearing, because you design jewellery as well. So when you say that...
I have done jewellery, but this I got on a trip in India. And then this is one of my favourite brooches by Andrew Logan.
Wow.
I mean, he's always done the jewellery for my shows, and I always find a handy piece of jewellery always decorates things, you know.
I mean, that is so not handy, that bit of jewellery. That's like a sort of wearing a painting. It's huge.
You know, oh yes, and you can pin a scarf, or you can, you know, it means you've got a bit of decoration, even if you're in something as basic, may I say, as a T-shirt. But, you know, and, you know, so I've got lots of necklaces. Of course, I haven't got them around me at this moment, but they're always useful. So whatever condition the top's in, the jewellery always makes, and never, ever go out without makeup. Yeah. I sleep with my makeup on. I wash it in the morning.
Not.
I do.
What are your pillows like?
And then I make myself up again in the morning.
Okay. Okay. And have you ever changed your makeup, or has it been like this since the 60s?
No. I mean, at the moment, it has just demure brown eyebrows. I don't have eyebrows because in the 60s, I plucked them all out.
Yeah.
And I had, first of all, little glitter dots. Then when it was punk, I had long and short eyebrows. I've done lines all around my eyes, eyelashes. I mean, it's been a bit too long like this, but I'll have to think it out or wait till I do another wonderful picture with someone, and then I'll rework it.
But I just think it's so, you are Zandra Rhodes. And if you changed it, I think there would be an outcry.
Oh, that's very nice to know. I mean, I would never go out without my makeup. I find another useful thing that is useful for travel is always sort of like whatever. If you've got handy shawls, it's quite good. They can look very good. And then I've just done the Marigold Hotel. And
I love that show. It's about to start, isn't it?
About to start. And I lost my favourite sun hat, but I have this great big sun hat, you see. Never let a piece of sun hit your face, of course.
I mean, you can't see. You've disappeared. It's like a tent.
Oh, it's like walking along with your own umbrella or tent. You can put your scarf over the top and you can look like a magical little old lady walking along. You'll see a little pink-haired old lady walking around behind Brit and all the others,
I bet you look fabulous. You must have been in heaven in India with all the colour and the wonderful fabrics and textures.
It's always been a magical place for me to go to. And this carved screen I did on an ashram in India, oh gosh, 2000 for an exhibition in Hanover.
Wow.
So, it's been the source of many adventures.
You are tireless. But is there anyone who it's probably hard for you to answer this, but has there been anyone who you felt has worn your clothes better than others? Is there any sort of famous person that really stands out? I can imagine Natalie Wood looking incredible.
Natalie Wood looks fabulous. Half the time is whether or not someone magically captures them, like, for example, the Freddie Mercury pleated one that you always think of, which I did in 1975.
Wow.
And, he, it's the one that they always remember. But I mean, I was never a groupie, so I never went to all those concerts. So I've only really been, they came to me when they remade it for the actual film, and then people always remember the Princess Diana pink dress.
Yes.
When she off shoulder when she announced that she was pregnant. In Japan. Yeah.
Too lovely. I mean, it's fun that vision of Freddie Mercury, although it's so incredibly well known and famous. I actually never knew that was designed by you. That sort of, it was like pleated, wasn't it? It's like sunray pleating.
And they came round to he and Brian came to my studio, and I had this funny little rickety studio in Bayswater by Royal Oak Tube Station. And they had to climb up all these rickety stairs. And I said, well, you'll have to come in the evening, because I didn't have a changing room or anything. And so I had the rail of clothes. And in fact, that was a wonderful pleated wedding top. And I said, put that on. And now, how do you feel? Look at yourself in the mirror, move around and see, if it feels wonderful. And then they sent myself tickets to go to the concert, which at that time was in Earl's Court, which was still there.
Yeah.
And I went with my wonderful friend, the painter, Dougie Field, and we had to have been at least 15 years older than most of the audience.
Fantastic though. And then on the flip side, is there, and you probably don't want to answer this, but has there been anyone who's worn something and it's made you go, I'm not sure that's the right thing for him?
As a designer, it's always best not to admit to too many of those.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But there are definitely some of them. I can't think of one at this minute, but I might before the end of our programme.
But I can't imagine your clothes not, I can't imagine them not working for anyone, because Trini and I were always about body shape and everything. And I think that they're so forgiving and accepting for every woman of every age and every body shape.
Well, there's lots of, I mean, I always find it's always useful to have a handy flowing kaftan. You know,
Yeah,
you can be almost any shape, but you create, the whole thing with a garment is to create an illusion that you can live by for yourself.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So, and I always think people with the most panache will get away with most things.
yeah. I mean, do you think that clothes make, or maybe your clothes, or anyone, clothes make the person, or the person makes the clothes?
It could be either way, I think.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, if most of the, I'm always love that very strong people usually like my clothes, so it just goes with their character, and they
yeah.
do something mad. Like, I mean, I always love um, what's that wonderful program with Jennifer Saunders and
Oh, absolutely fabulous.
I mean, absolutely fabulous in the program that I did,
Yeah,
which
I
was
remember.
when you see at the end she's a model and she's absolutely stoned out of her head, and
Yeah,
she falls through the paperwork in
yeah.
the background, and you know, you see a sense of humour with it as well,
Mm.
and yet it means that they're always remembered in some way or other.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's so true. I think, I kind of often say this, that probably food and clothing are the two things that hold the most memory. Old recipes that you might have had when you were a child, or, smash or spam or whatever it is. And then clothing. And, when I think of your designs, it brings up so many memories of my mother. I cannot tell you.
That's love. I mean, it's so wonderful when people sort of say, "Oh, I remember because they were in such and such," and it is
Yeah.
a wonderful, wonderful time. I mean, I was once at a very grand charity in New York, and Nora K. Ross, the I think she was a ballerina, came on the stage and she said, "Oh, I'm in my Zandra Rhodes," and she had on a wonderful chiffon beaded jacket. And then again, when I did some things for Shirley Bassey, and she made me stand up in the audience in the Carnegie Hall, which was a great,
Wow.
you know,
Yeah.
so that it's always wonderful when you contribute to part of someone's image. You know,
Yeah.
it's great to think of things like that.
And so this is called My Wardrobe Malfunction, Sandra. So I was wondering whether you ever in your esteemed career have had a wardrobe malfunction.
Oh, I had a really serious malfunction when I first. I lived part of the time in San Diego, where my partner, who had been the president of Warner Brothers worldwide, decided to retire, and I went to this very grand ball, and I was in one of our wonderful. It was when I was doing very exotic crinolines, and it was all woven in the top was all woven in ribbons, and then there was the big crinoline skirt. No sooner did I nearly got up to dance than the whole of the zip went all the way down the back. Well, luckily I had a magical shawl, but I then had to sort of like say, we're going to have to leave this very early and walk out backwards, because there was no way I could even hold the bodice. It was already flapping at the front.
Sandra.
So,
How many people saw it pop?
well, I don't know if anyone did. I mean, or I always assume people don't notice. You know, if you've got pink hair, they probably notice the pink hair and they miss the details. So that's all right. And I mean, I just had to say, walk out closely behind me, and we'll go out by the side of the room. And oh gosh, that was a
awful feeling. That awful feeling. And your hair. How are you going to maintain your hair? Have you been able to get lots of pink dye?
I dye it it's bleached, and then I dye it myself. And then when it looks like it shows a bit too much grey, because I haven't got a hairdresser to do that bit, the worst, she'd have a heart attack, because I can see that it really does need a neat trim. It's not growing evenly. So I sort of, she has a heart attack when she sees how I've trimmed the fringe.
I think it looks pretty, actually maybe it's a little bit uneven.
Crooked. It's a bit
crooked. But have you got a stash of pink dye in your
I have
cupboard?
a stash of pinkissimo dye.
Okay.
And I think I use cyclamen and pinkissimo mixed together. And I sleep in a very ugly plastic hat.
Lovely.
Off in the morning. So
Amazing.
And then if the grey shows, I dab it on and hope it looks all right. And I find we've got how much lockup? We've got if we're over 70, we're locked up for another 5 weeks, I think.
Oh, yeah, and the rest maybe.
I can't see a new bleaching job then, so I have to keep touching it up.
And so what are you up to now? What's your next project?
At the moment, I'm trying to get together, while we have this tiny bit of space, create the Zandra Rhodes Foundation, which will be both to see that my clothes are distributed to different museums around the world, because I've always saved them.
Yeah.
To work closely with museums, and then also start working on scholarships for students to work on textiles and things. So
fantastic.
Find yourself a handy project when you're left here with half your staff having to communicate by computer every day. And I've got this whole wonderful IKEA thing being launched.
Oh, what's that? That sounds interesting.
It's going to be all sorts of things like cushions, coverlets, lamps. It's going to be a whole interior thing coming out next year. So,
how exciting. I am going to be first in line for that. 100%. But Zandra, so have you got, you have being a designer, you must have so many of clothes. Your wardrobe must be stuffed of your designs. Do you only ever wear your own designs, or do you wear other people?
No, I only admit to wearing my own designs. The reason being that I've always said that if you're a designer, I don't mean people should look like me, but if my job is to say, you should perhaps consider wearing my clothes, if I'm wearing someone else's, then I'm really selling someone else.
Yeah.
And I've always found I can call back on things like, I did bring this one up, which I originally did in my Flower Fairy collection probably about 75, but we remade recently for Liberties, which was lovely.
Oh, wow.
So, and that, you see, hides a multitude of skin.
Absolutely.
It's a nice big, you could just put on.
Yeah, no, and I love the lame and the colour. Come closer again.
Me?
Oh. Yes, come back. So, do you have anything that you feel that makes you feel more amazing than other pieces? So is there one garment that is your go-to garment, like your birthday suit?
I've always loved, I've got my one-sided one here that's always very nice. Handy dress rail still upstairs, here. This is the one that we've always continued to make, which is the one-sided one, like this.
Fabulous.
Move the plastic coat hanger. But what I do, you see, is I wear it with a very thin, transparent long sleeve t-shirt and lots of jewellery, so you don't have to see the arm.
Okay, so where do you get that? I'm interested in that. I love the colour combinations on that. I think it's so stunning, and I totally get you. So I used to always wear one sleeve, one shoulder, but now my arms are so wrinkly I don't want to. Where do you get the transparent t-shirt from? Do you make them?
I usually get, the people who work for me are great. They look them up and probably get them fairly economically. They're like little bathing suits, high neck, so you put your necklace around the top, and they get long sleeve, and then they're like a bathing costume.
Oh, okay, so they're like
fabulous.
Oh, okay. So it's just very tight fitting, like a long sleeve t-shirt.
Yes. So you don't have to show your arm.
That's so clever. Okay.
Very useful.
That is a tip from the very, very, very top.
That's my Kurt Geiger statue we got sent after I did part of their campaign in a very dress that I'd got out of the cupboard that was all drawn with bleach.
I want that dress. I love it because it's fitted, and I love fitted slightly because my boobs are so big. So if I wear anything that's loose, I just look like a kind of menopausal pregnant woman. So I like to wear things a little bit more fitted. That is stunning. Wow. Have you got any other little gorgeous pieces there to hand that we could have a look at?
One of my classic pleated jackets that's always nice, you know, these pleated. Oh, and I made one of these for Brian May when he was performing at the same time as Freddie, and he had it stolen 3 times. I had to remake it.
Oh my goodness.
Like a little bolero.
I mean, something like that with the pleats. Do you do your own pleating? You must.
We print it in this building that I'm in. I'm in the penthouse of the Fashion Museum. And we've got a long print table one side, and we print the fabric, and then we send it out to be pleated.
Okay. Because I remember when I worked in fashion of doing the pleating and putting it in the paper and then folding it almost like you would a paper fan.
And then it has to be put under very high heat to do something.
Yeah, very high temperature, yeah, so it stays. Yeah.
So it stays. Not all, you have to, mainly it's got to have a polyester about it to stay pleated.
Okay, that's interesting.
Silk doesn't pleat.
Yeah. So who cuts your patterns? Do you have a pattern cutter?
Yes, we have a pattern cutter. And so we do everything from start to finish. We make the patterns, we print the fabric, and then make the garments. And have you ever? Is it always you who prints who designs the patterns? Is it? Well, not the patterns of the clothes, but the textile design. But I mean, I have wonderful team with me now, so I have a team working with me so that we can do that. But they've been trained by me. Yeah. Are you quite controlling? I suppose I am, but I don't like to necessarily think about it like that. Because I would find it very difficult to be able to, because you are your brand, you are your label, you know, more than a lot of designers. What will happen is people will come to me because they like something about my own work. So then but they can go on to work elsewhere. I've had people go on to other designers afterwards. But at the moment, with all the stuff that we've been doing for IKEA, there's been masses of work, which is lovely. Yeah, brilliant. All right, my love. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. I'm very excited to hear about your scholarship. I think that's fantastic. Wonderful. I hope it goes really well for you, and I hope we meet. Once this is all over, and I meet after this is all over. Yeah, and I will find those dresses of my mum's, and I will bring them to you. Yes. Yeah, and then you can have them for your museum if they're up to scratch. Lovely. Because we've just celebrated my 50 years, and then it goes up to Scotland next. Wow. So it goes to Aberdeen. Wonderful. Brilliant. All right, my love. Well, listen, take care, Zandra, and 1,000 thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. It's a great treat talking to you. Thank you. Such a thrill for me. Thank you. Thank you.